Joe Gibbs in big trouble with Denny Hamlin. What is correct about this? Is the media not too rushed with this news? Again, speculation has steamed and likewise on Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs just did something that has raised concerns with Denny Hamlin fans, and his future seems to be midway for Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, let's find out what's going on in the NASCAR world. You'll get to know it all here at NASCAR Inside. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button so you're always up to date with the latest NASCAR news. Last month, it was reported that Denny Hamlin and long-term sponsor FedEx will be retiring from Joe Gibbs Racing in 2023. While Hamlin and FedEx will most certainly re-sign with JGR for 2024 and beyond, it serves as a reminder that Hamlin's departure from NASCAR may be closer than most people think. In 2005, the driver of the FedEx Toyota number 11 that Joe Gibbs Racing fields made his first appearance in the NASCAR Cup Series. Since 2006, he has competed in the series on a full-time basis. Hamlin is regularly discussed as a potential contender for the title of the best driver who has not yet been victorious in a championship. He has 47 victories to his credit and has finished in the top 10 in more than half of his Cup Series races. But how many more opportunities will he have to redeem himself? Despite the fact that Hamlin has already won a race and secured his playoff spot to fight for the championship this year, he's the third oldest full-time driver still competing in the Cup Series at the age of 42. So how many more years does Hamlin have to remain in his career as a driver who competes full-time? On one of the episodes of his podcast titled The Dale Jr. Download, Dale Earnhardt Jr. posed precisely this question to Denny Hamlin.
Future at Joe Gibbs Racing. How much longer are you going to race?
I don't know.
You haven't even thought about it?
No, I've definitely thought about it. But I just, I talked with my crew chief yesterday about this, and I said, I'm going to win my last start. So I won't. Hopefully it's meaningful. Hopefully it's a meaningful start.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? You're going to win a race and go, is this where I'm supposed to quit?
I don't know.
You're going to know when you get out?
I just don't want the performance to decline to where I don't think I can win every week.
Denny will continue to be involved with the sport even after he officially hangs up his cleats. Together with Michael Jordan, he continues to be the co-owner of 23XI Racing, which is a team that now provides automobiles for Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch. So prior to Denny's retirement, would he be interested in driving for his own team? He could, but he chooses not to, because he doesn't want to. Denny is one of the few drivers competing in the Cup Series that has remained with the same team during his whole career in the series. In addition to this, during his entire career, he's been sponsored by the same company, FedEx, and he intends to preserve it in that state. After being questioned by Dale Jr. whether he would be leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and conclude his career driving for his own team,
not if FedEx extend. I think that I would like to retire at Gibbs with FedEx because it's so unique to have a sponsor that has been part of the sport as long as they have and backed me as long as they have.
Sure.
There's just no way I could leave them. I mean, maybe at that point then I just run one or two races or something within. I wouldn't win my last race probably, but I would like to retire at Gibbs with FedEx. But if things change, then things change, and then you got to reevaluate.
Yeah.
Denny has been quite the divisive character in NASCAR, and he certainly has his fair share of supporters as well as detractors. But over the course of the last few years, he's also established himself as one of the more outspoken drivers in the garage area. Although there are some drivers in the Hall of Fame, such as Mark Martin, who never won a championship, he has no doubt he would like to win one last championship before he hangs up his helmet. However, Denny is not quite ready to call it a career yet. In addition, if FedEx continues to employ him, he won't even be able to race for his own team. But things seem pretty different right now for Denny Hamlin, as Joe Gibbs have decided something else from the curve. What do you think? Will FedEx continue with Denny Hamlin? Tell us in the comment section below. And do subscribe to our channel for more updates on NASCAR. With such a long history, it's not difficult to imagine the Daytona 500 winner racing full-time without the assistance of his team or sponsor. However, the same thing happened to his former colleague, Kyle Busch, in 2022. Denny Hamlin provided an off-season update on Thursday, ahead of what will be his contract year. He expressed his desire to return to Joe Gibbs Racing following the 2023 season. Hamlin made his remarks before the NASCAR Awards, which were hosted on Thursday night in Nashville's Music City Center. Joey Logano, this year's Cup Series champion, was honored during the occasion. During his morning press conference, Hamlin stated that both his contract and that of his long-term sponsor FedEx will be available for renewal after the 2023 season. Despite competing in 614 races, the squad has collected 48 victories throughout this time. The 42-year-old veteran concluded last year's tournament with 2 victories and a 5th place finish in the standings, ending his 3-year run in the Championship 4. However, in recent years, Hamlin has broadened his horizons by becoming a team owner with 23XI Racing. This project was a collaboration with co-owner Michael Jordan, and it made its track debut in 2021. Hamlin claimed that he expected to switch to a full-time role on the ownership side, but that his choice to hang up his helmet would not be based on his engagement with 23XI. Well, there comes a time when his emphasis as a team owner will be more needed than as a driver, Hamlin said. But it will be on his terms and when he wants it to happen and when he believes it needs to happen. However, he does not believe that owning ownership will speed up his retirement. He feels that when the time comes to retire, he'll make the decision fully on his own, independent of how things are going with the racing team. Hamlin, who turned 42 in November, has been a full-time Cup Series driver since 2006, making 2023 his 18th season in NASCAR's top division. So far, the Virginia native's age has not been an issue. After going winless in 2018, Hamlin had a career turnaround in 2019 and 2020, winning 13 games across the 2 seasons. In 2021 and 2022, Hamlin was not as dominant, but he was still extremely good, winning 2 games per season and progressing to at least a round of 8 each year. However, the little dip raises the question, is Hamlin's peak approaching an end? The numbers alone build a picture of Hamlin as one of the greatest drivers of his generation. He is presently ranked 17th all time with 48 victories. 3 Daytona 500s, 3 Southern 500s, and 1 Coca-Cola 600 are among his victories. In most sports, success breeds popularity, and NASCAR is no exception. While drivers such as Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Chase Elliott gained popularity prior to winning, others, such as Kyle Larson, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt Sr., saw their popularity increase in tandem with their success. This, however, is not the case with Hamlin. Despite being one of the greatest drivers since the mid-2000s, Hamlin has never amassed a sizable fanbase. On the racetrack, the absence of support is most visible at the track. At many popular races, the number of fans wearing Hamlin's stuff is small. While former teammate Kyle Busch has had his own merchandising trailer and other peers take up big amounts of their respective teams' trailers, Hamlin's gear is confined to a small corner of the Toyota team trailer. What are your thoughts regarding this? Let us know in the comments section below. We'll be back, and until then, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.